extended coverage on KGW+.
I was just scared he was going to do this to some other family, to another community. So it was a huge relief that he was arrested.
The mom of a Gresham teenager killed while sleeping in his bed reacts to police arresting one of the suspects accused in her son's death. He'll appear in court later today. We'll have the latest on this case coming up in one of our top local stories.
And local business owners are calling on the city to do more to improve safety after a man was stabbed outside the Central Library in downtown Portland last month.
Also coming up this hour, what would you say is the coolest thing that's made here in the state of Oregon? Perhaps you'd go with Tillamook cheese, maybe beaver mustard. We're going to have details on how you can cast your vote on this coming up in the next 10 minutes as we kick off the 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
We have reached the midway point of the week. I'm Drew Carney, Chris McGinnis, Rod Hill, also on board for this Wednesday edition of the show. Rod, what's that Wednesday forecast?
Pretty typical day for us and a nice day. I don't have any weather concerns. Good morning to you. We are starting off with cloudy skies, not completely solid, but more than not at the coast and in the valley. Here are clouds over the state capitol down in Salem this morning. Calm winds, 60 degrees, a similar scene. Looking up I-5 in Portland, there's the Moda Center. You can see the clouds, 63 is the early morning number. So to the bus stop, about 60 out the door. Sun, of course, is now up. 70 degrees at noon. Partly cloudy, we think, and then a partly cloudy afternoon that gets up to about 80. That'll be matching yesterday's temperature, by the way. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. I want to pick it up in Washington County in the Sherwood area. We had a crash here on 99W near Tualatin Sherwood Road. It literally just cleared in the last 90 seconds, so that's good because there's a logjam of traffic back to the west here that extends almost a mile. So plan a few extra minutes if that's part of your commute in the next 10 minutes or so. South side of town, in downtown here, south side of downtown, we've got a crash on the westbound Ross Island Bridge. I don't have eyes on it, but I can show you that the westbound commute is starting to stack up here pretty quickly on 26. Of course, that's westbound Powell, taking you up to the Ross Island Bridge. I-5 from Clark County, busy but moving. Your drive time in from Main Street now has jumped up to 17 minutes to get you down to the Fremont Bridge. And a quick look at the inbound Sunset. Headlights coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. Again, normal slow and go action there. We'll keep you posted. China.
Thank you, Chris. We start with breaking news. Portland police are investigating an overnight shooting in Northeast Portland. It happened near Northeast Holiday and Grand near the Denny's. The call came in around 11:30 and officers left around 4:45 this morning. We still don't know if there were any injuries and what led up to the shooting. We've reached out to police for more details.
Gresham police arrested one of the suspects accused of killing a 13-year-old boy while he was sleeping in his bed earlier this year. Two other suspects in this case are still on the loose. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is covering this for us in Gresham this morning. So Thomas, the 13-year-old boy's family has been waiting months for news like this about an arrest.
Yeah, a really long time, Drew. On April 27, 13-year-old Liam Spanley Bailey was sleeping in his father's apartment when he was killed by gunfire from an adjacent unit that, through a shared wall, hit him sleeping in his bed. And since then, the family has been searching for answers, waiting for something from law enforcement. In May, detectives identified three suspects: Anthony Hunter Jr., Xavier Hirsch, and Terrell Coy. And despite thousands of dollars in reward money, the suspects eluded officers for months. That changed on Tuesday morning. Hunter Jr. was arrested by Gresham police in Northeast Portland, and to Spanley Bailey's mother, the arrest and breaking the case is a big step toward justice.
And I was just scared he was going to do this to some other family, to another community. So it was a huge relief that he was arrested.
A huge relief. And in a statement, Gresham Police Chief Travis Goldberg said in part, "Our work is not done. Two suspects are still wanted for Liam's murder. Our officers, detectives, and law enforcement partners will not stop." Gresham Police are offering an award as well for more information, a $5,000 reward, that is, for information into the other two suspects leading to their arrest. That's Hirsch and Coy. In the meantime, Hunter Jr. is expected today in court. Drew, China.
Thank you, Thomas. Sonoma County leaders say the recently released surveillance video showing the moments leading up to a stabbing outside the Central Library in downtown Portland shows a more complicated situation. The three people arrested shortly after the stabbing appeared in court yesterday. They are each facing Multiple felony charges here. A 44-year-old man was injured in that stabbing. Portland police initially said that the man tried to intervene in a disturbance, but some commissioners say that there's more to the story. County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson called for the video to be released by the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office, but then released it herself. She said that the video release was about ensuring transparency and preventing racial bias from shaping the public narrative.
This isn't about dictating the right and wrongs of the case. That's going to play out in the judicial system as it should. We all want to make sure that justice is served, that there's accountability, and that we have safe places. But for me, the concern was just being really conscious of how we are talking about and portraying young Black people, and making sure that we're not falling back on kind of racial stereotypes as we're talking about things.
The 3 suspects all entered not guilty pleas.
Some business owners downtown showed up at City Hall to share how the violence near the library has impacted them. So they testified during a meeting on public safety yesterday. One of those owners says she brought her business to downtown 3 years ago, wanting to be a part of Portland's revitalization, but instead she says she's just a part of the city's ongoing struggles.
It's exhausting. It is definitely making the experience of running and operating a business in downtown very challenging. We have seen a death at the library within a block away. We have seen a stabbing at the library within a block away.
Some of the owners said they want more police patrolling downtown streets to help prevent crime instead of showing up after it happens.
In Clark County, the Sheriff's Office is investigating reports from 2 women who encountered troubling situations on the Salmon Creek Trail. Last Wednesday, a woman walking her dog when she says that a man ran up behind her and grabbed her before running off. Then on Monday, a different woman reported a man recording her on the trail. Anyone who's experienced something similar or anyone with information should contact the Clark County Sheriff's Office.
The city of Tigard is looking for a new leader after Mayor Heidi Lube handed in her resignation effective immediately. Tigard City Council confirmed her resignation during a meeting last night. The now former mayor faces an investigation involving complaints against her. Meanwhile, in a statement posted online, Lube listed a breakdown in city government and infighting among city officials as reasons for her resignation. Council President Maureen Wolf will now step in as the mayor of Tigard, at least temporarily, until City Council's next meeting later this month.
Oregon State Representative Anissa Hartman says that she won't run for another term in the legislature. Instead, she plans to run for a seat on the Clackamas County Commission. Representative Hartman has represented House District 40, which covers Gladstone, Oregon City, and other areas in northern Clackamas County since 2023. During the recent special session, Hartman was the sole Democrat who voted against the transportation funding bill. In a statement, Hartman said in part, quote, "Last week made it clear to me that party politics and bureaucracy get in the way of true people-centered solutions. I want to serve where collaboration matters more than party lines, and that's right here at home." All right, the coolest thing made in Oregon contest just announced its 16 finalists, and you can help vote for which one is the best. Finalists represents a variety of products manufactured in the state, including Pendleton blankets, Tillamook cheese, Beaver brand mustard. And to cast your vote, just go to OregonBusinessIndustry.com.
Coolest thing in the newscast, maybe Rod's forecast for the next few days. What do you got for us, Rod?
Yeah. Can I throw out grass seed real quick, by the way? Made in Oregon, the finest grass seed in the country.
This man is a big fan, I will tell you, of grass seed farmers in Oregon.
Yes.
Don't you present to their at their annual conference?
I do. I get to go present again. They have an annual convention or meeting. It's at the Salem Convention Center. First Tuesday in December it is this year. I'll be up there speaking to them. Let me tell you, these are exciting people, the Oregon grass growers. All right, here's a look at our radar satellite. We've got showers in Burns, rain showers. You got a shower around Madras as well. And that action is going to fire back up, meaning thunderstorms expected to become numerous later today, Central Oregon, and at least in spotty locations out of Eastern Oregon. But it looks like we'll be dry here in the west side and probably dry in Hood River. I think the thunderstorm chance in the gorge is farther out to the east later today. Actually, a nice, somewhat bright start, partly cloudy skies. You can see some blue in Mount Hood. That's Indian Creek Golf Course out in Hood River. Winds today will be gentle. West winds 5 to 15. Here's a Chehalem tasting room camera looking out over the vineyard, and you can see cloudy skies from this vantage point. There are some breaks on some of our cameras, but overall it's a great start. We're at 61. We have light winds, no precip falling out of the clouds this morning, and we do expect the clouds to become partly cloudy, so partial clearing as we get rolling through the day. Right now, 59 in Beaverton, 58 in Happy Valley, Westland, good morning. 62, Aurora, good morning to you. 61 degrees, 60 in Kaiser, and 60 degrees in Salem. Forecast map is going to show the thunderstorms this afternoon into the evening in central Oregon. Because of storm activity, this shows Sun River only about 60 today. And then because of storm activity, maybe holding in the 60s in places like John Day, we'll see afternoon sun or partly cloudy skies, coast and valley. The modeling has been way too cool. So we've been 79, 80 the last 2 days. Portland could hit 80 again today, 75 tomorrow, 78 on Friday, 80s on Saturday. The one day with a scattered shower threat looks to be Sunday, and here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thank you for that. We found that issue on the Ross Island Bridge, and just as soon as we found it, ODOT swooped in with one of their incident responders and helped push that disabled vehicle out of the way. So we are back and rolling again, but there is a little bit of a backup on westbound Powell Boulevard, of course, which takes you up to the Ross Island Bridge. Here's the live look on Southeast Powell near Milwaukee. So again, this will take a few minutes to flush out. Plan a few extra minutes there for sure. Remaining on the west side, Highway 26 coming in on the Sunset down the hill from the zoo. Obviously, we've got the normal slow and go action there. As you can see, all 3 lanes slowing approaching the tunnel. At last check, we're just shy of 20 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. And last but not least, it is the traffic jam we can count on every time this time of the morning. I-5 southbound approaching the Interstate Bridge out of Clark County. Right now, that drive has ballooned up to 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Guys?
All right, thank you, Chris.
You don't register on purpose your dog or your cat or your horse or anything else. You don't do that on purpose to mock the system.
Actually, you can try to do that, but you can also get arrested. A California woman is charged with multiple felonies after she registered her dog to vote. She says she was simply trying to improve the voting system. The full story after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Now to a wild story out of California, where a woman is charged with 5 felonies after she, listen closely here, registered her dog to vote and then cast ballots in the dog's name 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it went well the first time, so she thought, let's do it again, a second time. You want more details on the story, don't you? We have more details.
Miss Yorks was released on her own recognizance. She's never been in trouble with the law before.
The Costa Mesa woman charged with 5 felonies for registering her dog Maya Jean and voting for the dog in 2 elections was in court for the first time. 62-year-old Laura Yorks did not enter a plea, but said in a statement that her intent was to improve the voting system.
Laura York sincerely regrets her unwise attempt to expose flaws in our state voting system, intending to improve it by demonstrating that even a dog can be registered to vote.
The case is causing concern at the county level.
You don't register on purpose your dog or your cat or your horse or anything else. You don't do that on purpose to mock the system.
2 members of the Board of Supervisors pushed for an emergency motion, which ultimately failed, to have the voter rolls examined.
So that we can find out from the registrar what he is going to do to stop what you said, Mr. Chairman, and that's dogs and cats from being enlisted on the rolls.
Supervisor Janet Wynn wants to examine the county's dog license records to expose potential illegal voters.
So if we can cross-reference the addresses and the names to see, is there potentially a name, because, that could be suspicious, and then we can then say, wait a minute, let's flag this.
Bob Page is the registrar of voters.
We take voter fraud very serious. So when I received a report in October that there may have been a fictitious person who was registered to vote and had voted and attempted to vote in 2 elections, we referred that immediately to the district attorney to investigate, and he ultimately filed charges.
Since the presidential election last fall, 175,000 names have been purged from Orange County's voter files.
They moved, they died, they were ineligible to vote. I don't support what I think is an anti-democratic way to try to test our system, and people should be held accountable for that.
Rod, you think if Maximus, your golden retriever, was able to vote, you think he would fall all left, all right, or maybe just weigh the options? And
I'm not sure, but let me say this, because I've mentioned this before. It's goofy. When we go through TSA, my daughter's last name is Saladin. My wife didn't legally change her name. Her last name is Kim. My last name is Hill. And the point of the story is, the only member of our family that shares my last name is our dog, Maximus Hill. So if you're looking at the roll of our family names, Maximus Hill is one of the more believable names.
Wow.
In the family tree, yes.
In the family tree, yes.
My thought on this is, if you think it's a good idea to have your dog vote, or try to have your dog vote, you don't deserve to vote. You don't get to pick who our president is.
Well, don't you know what she was doing there, China? She was just trying to improve the system, she says.
I don't think
she was
that's
trying
how
to make
that
things
works.
better.
That's not how that works.
I forgot to add, Maximus also has my middle name, so it's very believable.
Oh yeah, share the middle name again.
Maximus Lewis, L-E-W, Hill.
And what's your social?
That's where we draw the line.
That's where we draw the line. You almost got me though, China. You almost got me. All right, here's a look at the nation's radar satellite this morning. If you're traveling, and that's why it's not that early anymore, but I don't think you have any big flight concerns. Some showers mostly pushing off the East Coast, a fading storm complex in Oklahoma. Some storms refiring could maybe make a problem for Kansas City a little bit later today. But here on the west side of our state, we're fairly quiet. There are some showers in southern and eastern Oregon this morning. There's a fading shower around Madras in Jefferson County, but all dry here on the west side. And certainly driving up I-5 this morning, it's all dry weather, mainly cloudy skies. All dry weather through the gorge on 84 this morning as well. We love this camera. Up in Vancouver, the springs at the waterfront. The camera's on one of the buildings over on the west side, and of course now we're looking back to the east at the interstate bridge. Cloudy skies, obviously solid overcast from this vantage point, 63. We have light winds. Cloudy over Providence Park as well. Say good morning to soccer fans out there. 61 is the temperature. And our other numbers this morning, 60 up in Kelso. Again, everybody's dry on the west side. 57 in Newport. Bend, 48. Solid thunderstorm chance in your forecast later today, by the way. And some of the modeling is showing a pretty good cluster of storms nearing Baker City later today. Right now, you're dry and 53 degrees. Here's Futurecast. So this afternoon, it shows both the coast and the valley becoming partly cloudy. Here's 1 o'clock. Now, as we go through the afternoon, see the bright colors, thunderstorm activity moving up from the south into central Oregon, some of it hitting against the Cascades. And then this evening, it's showing a pretty good cluster of storms coming out of Malheur County and working up toward Baker City. And then all that activity mostly fades away overnight. Here we are Thursday morning, though. Thursday morning, there's still some activity down in southern Oregon around Burns, dry here on the west side. And then more thunderstorms tomorrow for you folks in the afternoon, evening. Here's some pretty good storms that would move back to the west into the blues. So you folks, at least a couple more days of stormy activity reigniting in the PM hours and going into the overnight. For the valley, though, it's pretty simple stuff. Morning cloudiness, partly cloudy skies this afternoon. 70s to about 80 degrees in spots. Winds will be light. This does show Vancouver hitting 80, but only mid-70s up in Cowlitz County. I've got Portland at 80, clouds to sun, a little bit cooler tomorrow, 75, 78, 83 on Saturday. Still eyeing a scattered shower threat on Sunday with a temperature of about 76 degrees. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. I'll show you the slowest stretch of Portland Freeway right now. It's actually in Vancouver, the I-5 South commute from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Moving along at about 20 minutes or so. Let's zoom in real quick. I'll show you the live look at SR 14, and this is normal for this hour of a Wednesday morning drive. It's heavy basically from just south of SR 500 all the way down to the Fremont Bridge at this point. All right, door number 2, we'll switch gears real quick. That'll take us over to the Sunset, Highway 26, riding the brakes a little bit, coming down the hill from the zoo into the tunnel. And last but not least, door number 3 shows us the Banfield, I-84 westbound, plugged up from 82nd Avenue. Right now, the trip in from Troutdale is averaging about 24 minutes. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, here's what happens when the world of politics runs into a publishing company that wants to sell books. Former Vice President Kamala Harris taking off the gloves in a new memoir where she blasts former President Joe Biden's re-election decision as, quote, recklessness. What else she had to say about her former boss as she gets ready to release that new book. That's coming up. International headlines.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Here's a look at some national and world headlines with your morning rush. Poland says it shot down a, quote, huge number of Russian drones that violated Polish airspace during a massive overnight strike on Ukraine. Poland's prime minister called it a major infraction by Russia and said he's been in constant contact with NATO allies who scrambled together fighter jets in response. Meanwhile, back here in the U.S., Kamala Harris is taking aim at her former boss in a brand new memoir. She called it recklessness to let Joe Biden decide on his own whether or not he should seek re-election last year. Harris writes that Biden's term undercut her rise, but still insists that the former president was more capable than Donald Trump. Harris's book, 107 Days, will come out later this month. And take a look at this. More than 60 shipping containers fell off a cargo ship into the water. This happened yesterday morning in California at the port of Long Beach, right near Los Angeles. No one was hurt, and port crews say they're working at this point to recover all those huge containers. And that's a look at your morning rush. Apple is also in the news this morning, introducing a brand new ultra-thin iPhone. NBC's Brian Chung went to check out the new phone before it hits store shelves.
Introducing the newest member of the iPhone family.
Apple making the first big new addition to its smartphone lineup in years, the iPhone Air.
This is the iPhone Air. It's what Apple says is their slimmest iPhone yet at just under 6 millimeters in thickness. This is their big bet. It's a new addition to their lineup.
In addition to new iPhone 17s and 17 Pros, Apple also debuting new AirPods Pros that use artificial intelligence.
Live translation begins.
To do live translations.
Definitely. The client will love that.
As well as new smartwatches that can use health data to give you motivational prompts when working out.
That's a new record. You just walked the longest distance in a walking workout this month.
The new products are Apple's new line of defense against competitors, offering phones that flip and fold and boasting bolder artificial intelligence features.
Show me where to start.
Unscrew the slip nuts. As far as the impact of tariffs on prices, it's unclear.
iPhone 17 starts at $799.
The new range of iPhones start at the same price, but its Pro models are now slightly more expensive. The baseline 17 Pro is $100 more than last year's baseline, though it also has more storage. Apple says their new products will hit stores September 19. Brian Chung, NBC News, Cupertino, California.
All right, the man you see here in this video, who's accused of driving recklessly around the Portland area, has been acquitted of most of the charges against him. We'll break down what he was found guilty of and his sentencing coming up here at 7:30. Also in our next half hour, Amazon in the hot seat after 28 families sued the company saying that products purchased from their platform were used in their children's suicides. Now the Washington State Supreme Court will determine if Amazon can be held liable for their deaths.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Wednesday morning drive. A live look at some of the cameras here across the area. We are in full swing here for our Wednesday morning commute. So with that in mind, 23 minutes, your southbound I-5 drive. That's the commute in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. We'll zoom in. This is for sure the slowest stretch of Portland-Vancouver freeway right now as cars are slowing to 20 miles an hour or less. approaching the Interstate Bridge. There's a live look at the stop and go action on the Banfield as well. Westbound 84 pretty tight. And I'll step out of the way. The trip from Wilsonville is starting to get a little busy as well. Your trip northbound from the Boone Bridge to the Markham Bridge averaging about 25 minutes. Rod?
All right, Chris, thanks for that update. Weather-wise, we're in good shape. We have cloudy skies, but no rain here on the west side falling out of those clouds. We are watching showers out in Burns. The lightning activities here south has stopped, and a weakening shower around Madras also earlier had some lightning strikes with it. There's downtown, or at least looking up I-5, mostly cloudy, 63. Sunshine is coming, 80 today. The forecast still shows our next rain threat on Sunday, a scattered shower chance.
Good morning. Oktoberfest is making its way back to Oaks Park this month. The three-day festival runs September 19th through the 21st at Oaks Museum Park. It features authentic German food, live polka bands, and of course beer. Admission starts at $7.50 for adults and $4.50 for kids. And go to park.com for more information. Now, I don't know what the polka dance looks like, but I would like to see you do it.
Well,
I feel like you know how to do it.
I have polka'd before, and it is a really fun dance because you can really take your partner in your arms and go flying around the dance floor pretty quickly. But I can't remember the step. It's kind of like it's a two-step of sorts. But
what do you think it is?
Please tell me you weren't being serious.
No, I'm being totally serious. When I did ballroom, every now and then we did a polka, and it was kind of I don't know, I can't remember really.
That's what I wanted.
But it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. Okay, we have our Salem's sky camera for you. Cloudy skies, 60 over the capital city. We've got the Moda Center and I-5, cloudy skies over Portland, 63. This looks to be a day that becomes partly cloudy. It's kind of our typical weather pattern, if you will. 70 at noon, and assuming we get the amount of sun that we had yesterday afternoon breakout, we'll be back up to about 80 degrees for a high temperature. Now standing flat-footed. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Maybe I had visions of the of Groundhog Day and the Pennsylvania polka going and the weatherman doing his thing. Yeah. So all right, let's get you out the door. A live look at the drive from Clark County. That's our slowest commute right now. The slowest 6-7 miles of freeway on the map is basically from Main Street south to the Markham Bridge. 23 minutes gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont, right out I-5 southbound. We'll take you live to the SR-14 interchange. And again, you've got plenty of company as you make that drive across the Columbia River. 84 westbound, also pretty slow and go, coming in from 82nd Avenue, and that drive beginning to build from Troutdale. That's, in fact, right on cue. Look at that. It went from 31 to 34 minutes from Troutdale west to the I-5 split. Drew?
Thank you, Chris. Top story here at 7:30. A local man who posted videos that showed him driving recklessly around the Portland area will not go to jail.
He's avoiding prison even though a judge found him guilty on several charges tied to his dangerous stunts behind wheels. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson is in the newsroom with more details on the case. Corey.
That's right. Oscar Lee Burrell Jr. was accused of turning Portland streets and even I-5 into his personal racetrack, filming it all for social media back in March. This week, a judge ruled on his case. A Multnomah County Circuit Court judge found Burrell guilty on multiple charges, including reckless driving and endangering another person. Now, investigators say the 33-year-old filmed himself on 2 separate occasions doing donuts in a park and hanging out of his window on I-5. The videos also show him weaving into oncoming traffic before they were posted online. Burrell was sentenced to 18 months probation, 80 hours of community service, and a 90-day license suspension, but he doesn't have to serve any jail time. But not everyone agrees with the judge's verdict. In a news release, Multnomah County District Attorney Nathan Vasquez said in part, "I strongly disagree with Judge Vondersteeg's evaluation of the facts in this case." That statement went on to say the fact that he was driving through Portland city parks, and there was video of this in which you can see at least one child in the park, and that somehow she was able to find him not guilty of charges associated with that is bewildering. Burrell is also required to attend a victim impact panel, take a high-risk driver course, and get a mental health evaluation and treatment if it's deemed necessary. China?
Thank you, Corey. Portland police are hoping that you can help them identify the person who vandalized the Oregon Jewish Museum. Police gave us these photos of the suspect. They say on July 29th, someone drew swastikas on the museum's windows along with a tag that says @CalFace23. The vandalism is being investigated as a hate crime. If you have any information, contact Portland Police.
A group of parents in Washington is suing Amazon for selling products they say their children used to end their lives.
And we want to warn you, the details of the story may be sensitive for some viewers. Drew Mickelson with our sister station in Seattle has more.
We're going on almost 5 years now since she's been gone, and we never stop thinking about her.
Ava Passananti was 18 when she killed herself in 2021.
Being here, being able to represent her means the world.
Her father is one of dozens of parents closely watching this case.
Amazon marketed this poison, it sold it, it delivered it to the doorsteps of the people that used it.
Sodium nitrite, a perfectly legal chemical commonly used as a food preservative, can be deadly if consumed. The families of 28 teens and young adults who died by suicide after ingesting sodium nitrite say Amazon knew what the product was being used for years and didn't do anything to stop it until voluntarily banning sales in 2022.
Does Amazon have no right to sell this?
That was after the sodium nitrite suicides of the 4 people whose lawsuits are now before the court: Ava Passananti, Michael Scott, Tyler Molman, and DJ Viglis. After news of the deaths spread, states like Washington passed bans on the sale of deadly high-concentration sodium nitrite, but attorneys for the families say for too long, Amazon not only ignored complaints, they knew the product was being used by suicidal customers.
Amazon's algorithm put people in contact with a how to commit suicide book. It put them in contact with antiemetics so they could, they wouldn't throw up the poison.
We can all agree that the facts of these cases are tragic.
Amazon's attorney says the company has no way of knowing if customers are suicidal and cannot be held responsible for their actions.
They're asking and would require you to adopt a specific new novel rule that would make Amazon liable for the conscious decisions that its purchasers make after they've decided to purchase.
I think she would be very happy that we were here doing what's right for her and to save lives.
The families say holding Amazon accountable will save lives.
Ava's name will go on forever. All of these kids will. All 28 of these beautiful people that are no longer with us will always be a part of this, and this is just the beginning.
And a reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7. You can call or text 988 to reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which provides confidential support and resources.
Oregon's Welfare Department says it's working to increase training for foster parents after a 4-month-old died while sleeping face down. It happened in a padded Dacatot bassinet. The baby's foster mom says she checked in on the infant less than an hour before they were found dead. A medical provider told investigators that the infant's prematurity, medical issues, and unsafe sleeping conditions all placed them at higher risk of infant death. Nurses at Portland's St. Vincent Hospital say their best opportunity to educate parents about the importance of infant sleep safety is in the hospital. One of those nurses told us a lot of parents don't understand how dangerous it can be to use bassinets with padded bumpers or to simply add a blanket to their baby's crib.
So we always want to make sure baby's on the back. So you never want to put baby on their belly. As you can see here, like the nose and the mouth are completely occluded by the blanket. Their neck muscles are just they're not strong yet. They don't have that ability to lift their head.
The Department of Human Services says it plans to improve child care training by providing more education on safe sleep practices and more guidance on infant products. Meanwhile, the company behind the Dacatot Deluxe Bassinet product claims it's safe for non-sleep purposes. That product is no longer sold in the U.S.
The U.S. Forest Service is lifting a ban that prevented wildland firefighters from wearing masks on the job. The change stems from firefighters developing health problems like cancer from wildfire smoke. The New York Times reports former Forest Service officials say the agency previously did not want to deal with the potentially expensive consequences of admitting the dangers of smoke exposures. The Forest Service has now posted new guidance.
Multiple Portland nonprofits have teamed up in the latest effort to tackle the city's homeless crisis. They launched a brand new coalition called We All Have a Name. Organizers of the coalition say they want to humanize the issue by learning the names of people living on Portland streets and then asking what they need.
If people come down and start to learn some of these names, learn who the Joshes are and hear their story. Josh got hit by a car. That's why he was in a wheelchair. Just learning that can change the narrative of some of these people just need help.
I understand their struggles, I was there at one point, and so I feel like it's my job to help get them back on off the streets.
Staff and volunteers with We All Have a Name will walk city streets and provide support every Tuesday and Friday. Another big headline this morning, no school again today for kids in Vancouver's Evergreen School District as a group of workers in that district continue to delay the start of the school year with a strike. The district says it continues to provide free meals for students, though. Those meals can be picked up at Heritage High School between 9 and 10:30 and at Mountain View High School between 10 and 11:30. If your child needs a place to go during the day, the district is also expanding childcare options through the Right at School program, which will host family care camps at 9 elementary schools in the district until 6 at night. For more details on that, you can head to the district's website. The Clark County Family YMCA is offering camp for students between 8:30 and 2:30. Meanwhile, also worth noting here, classes in La Center. The La Center School District also closed again today as teachers in that district continue their strike.
Your time now is 7:40. Taking a live look over Vancouver right now, the Vancouver waterfront. Rod Hill, you said earlier today that when it's dark and cloudy, you don't really know what you're getting into, but now the sun is coming up.
Now it's bright. Now I'm expected to have an idea of what's happening. We're working on it. Here's a look at our Timberline Lodge camera. We do know that the cloud base is low because when you get up high, you get a little bit of sunshine. Kind of partly cloudy skies over the summit, 50 degrees. Notice the winds up at the lodge are calm as well. This is another light wind day for the most part across our state, with the exception of potential wind gusts with thunderstorm activity east of the Cascades a little bit later today. The clouds are solid more than not from Kelso, Longview, all the way down through Salem and then to Albany. Here's Three Rivers Golf Course up in Kelso. You can see the cloudiness there and the solid clouds. Over the West Hills, our live camera at the Oregon Zoo, 61 degrees. Again, light winds, temperatures outside, kind of where we've been. Upper 50s to low 60s, 63 in Vancouver and Portland. It's 59 in Beaverton this morning, also 59 degrees out in Dallas. Daphne, by the way, is our KGW dog of the day. Hi, Daphne. Use the email address, simply attach your dog's photo, their name, and your dog will become our dog of the day. Again, that's simple to remember, dog of the day at KGW.com. There's Daphne this morning. So thunderstorm activity expected to become numerous again this afternoon into this evening in Central Oregon, and then at least scattered storms out farther to the east. And some of these storms could migrate northward up into the East Gorge. It does not look like anything will come on this side of the Cascades. So that would leave us with morning clouds and developing partial clearing or afternoon sunshine. 60s at the coast, 70s to about 80 degrees in Portland. I have Portland's high at 80. Right now we're dry through Saturday. We're watching a scattered shower threat on Sunday from a weak system. That's just a one-day shower chance at this point. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. Let's get you caught up to speed with your drive. I'm going to pick it up on the east side, Interstate 84. This is actually out near 148th. We had something hanging up the drive there a couple of minutes ago. Whatever it was, it may have cleared, but in any event, that is adding to some of that commute coming in from that side of town. I-205, a little heavy over the Glen Jackson Bridge. You can see there a lot of traffic working its way down towards the Airport Way. So southbound out of Clark County, a little slow, but not bad. By far, the slower drive right now is the I-5 commute, as always. 25 minutes gets you in from Main Street. Let's take you down to Tualatin. I-5 through the 205 interchange, getting real busy this morning. There's your northbound commute. Rolling along at about 20 miles an hour there. So total trip in from Wilsonville has ticked up a few more minutes, guys. We're up to 31 minutes now from Wilsonville Road to downtown.
Thank you, Chris.
People want to know what the heck is going on with gas prices.
Yeah, what is going on with gas prices here? After the break, we'll take a look at why prices in Oregon are on the rise.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, if you filled up your tank in the past week, you know that local gas prices are up again. The average price in Oregon jumped to $4.14 a gallon. In Washington, it's $4.49 a gallon. Meanwhile, the national average far lower than both at just $3.19 a gallon.
KGW's Catherine Cook takes a look at why local gas prices have been on the rise.
Think you're seeing higher prices at the pump? You're right.
They're rising for sure. Kind of sucks because I drive a lot for my work, so it's a lot of money going out of my pocket.
Since last week, AAA says Oregon's average price for regular unleaded jumped 16 cents to $4.14, the biggest week-over-week jump in the country. In Portland, prices are 20 cents higher.
I would have filled up yesterday if I had known that.
And remember, that's just on average. You'll find much higher prices than that.
People want to know what the heck is going on with gas prices.
Marie Dodds with AAA says there's not just one, but rather three factors at play. First, reports of planned and unplanned maintenance at refineries in Washington, Puget Sound, and California. She says that impacts wholesale prices, which trickle down to the pump. Next, Dodds says they're getting reports of an outage or disruption at the Olympic pipeline, which brings fuel down from Blaine, Washington to Portland.
So if there's an outage in a pipeline like this, it can really wreak havoc in Oregon.
To top things off, this is all happening right before refineries switch over to winter blend fuel, which Oregon retailers can start selling on Monday.
And so the refineries are not going to be wanting to crank out a lot more of the summer product because that deadline is fast approaching.
That means a tighter supply, which some retailers are already managing. By email, Chevron tells KGW, "We are aware of the pipeline outages in the Pacific Northwest, and we are managing our fuel supplies accordingly. Depending on the extent, some Chevron stations in Oregon and Washington may experience fuel shortages. We are exploring all options to ensure these motorists have access to our high-quality fuels." Dodds says there's an easy way to manage current supply and demand.
You know, if you need to fill up, if you're on empty, go ahead and fill up, but don't just go fill up for the heck of it if you only need 1/8 of a tank.
And with higher gas prices, that's not a tough sell for customers.
I'll just pull in and get a little bit of gas, and then I'll probably find another gas station that's a little bit cheaper.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
So I'm walking to work these days.
Tell us more.
Not there yet. Not there. Too early in the morning. You know, it's too early to be walking at 2:30
Yes.
a.m. But gosh darn it, every time I fill up the car, I'm like, do I have to do this? Do I need this vehicle?
Yeah, you do.
It's a little rough this week, for sure.
My daughter, who recently started driving, she hasn't paid for gas yet.
I know.
And I don't think she wants to. It's just a hunch.
Oh, yeah, no. I've got two that don't want to and don't, but maybe soon will.
I mean, hey, Dad, she told me this the other day, the car's a little low, needs gas. I'm like, well, I don't drive it. I drive my car. What's the problem here? Here's a look at our satellite radar. We've got clouds out in Burns and some rain showers. There was some lightning to your south, but that's faded away. Still some rain showers and matters. Again, here there was some lightning, but that's faded away. Everything is east of the Cascades. And east of the Cascades, we will again see scattered storms fire up today. Real quick update on the active large wildfires burning. This is just in Oregon. About 27 large fires now, Oregon and Washington combo. And in Washington, again, the biggest cluster is still in that northern third of the state. The only thing I really wanted to point out on this map, a couple things. Number one, the Immigrant Fire is still burning, 32,000 acres. Little containment, still expected to burn until the rainy season of November puts it out. But there's really no fires burning in the resort areas of Central Oregon right now. That's good news. And there's really no fires burning out in the gorge up here either. So that's good news. And these fires along 84 look to be fairly small. I don't want to say harmless, but fairly small grass fires that don't seem to be presenting much danger at this point. Air quality is actually the best it's been in a while, in part because you've had those storms producing rain and picking up winds at times in central and eastern areas of our state. So really, the green is good. That's mostly Oregon. The yellow, moderate air qualities from Oregon DEQ. Well, I will show you a couple golf courses here. This is up in Woodland, Lewis River Golf Course this morning. Cloudy skies. I think that's wet from the morning sprinklers, by the way. And this is really gray. This is the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Aloha. You can see no breaks in the cloud cover looking off to the west there. Light winds and 63 degrees. No weather-related issues here on the west side, just starting off with cloudy skies, including the coast. Newport's at 59. Good morning to you. Bend awaiting new thunderstorm activity later today, setting at 50 degrees. Futurecast shows partial clearing of partly cloudy skies along much of the coast and the valley later today, this afternoon. It's going to show the afternoon storms blowing up. See the bright colors in central Oregon, and then also some thunderstorm areas out farther east again today. And the storm chances will reignite. Well, actually, they're still going tomorrow morning, according to this latest run of information. And there's 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, more storms out across parts of central and eastern Oregon. So at least a couple more days of that activity for you folks. On the west side, the coast in the 60s, looking for afternoon sun breaks. The valley looking for some afternoon sun as well, with temperatures generally in the 70s to about 80 for a high. I've got Portland at 80, 75 tomorrow, 78 Friday. 83 Saturday, still eyeing the chance of some scattered shower activity on Sunday. Here's Chris.
Hey, a reminder for folks that ride the TriMet Max blue and red lines. Maybe this is your first time checking in with the news this week. They're doing significant maintenance in the Robertson Tunnel. That's the tunnel that goes through the West Hills. And that's all week long through Saturday. So they're using shuttle buses, that is, to serve all stations between the Sunset Transit Center and Providence Park. All right, back to your drive times. We are in full swing. So everything highlighted in red, the inbound Sunset now. Just 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Let's take you out there to Murray. You can see the inbound commute pretty heavy now, basically from Bethany to Murray and up to the Sylvan Hill. In fact, right there, we're moving along at about 14 miles an hour or less to get you from Sylvan into town. That said, the drive times are about what we would expect this time of a Wednesday morning commute. No major unexpected delays at this point. True?
All right, Chris, thank you for that. Protecting a rare flower, a sweet, delicate flower by the name of China Green. Oh, wait, that's not. Wait, no, that's not this story.
You were going there.
That's not this story. This story is about the effort to have the Willamette phlox covered by the Endangered Species Act, and we'll have the full story for you after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
A rare wildfire found only in the Willamette Valley could soon get federal protection. The Center for Biological Diversity petitioned the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to list the Willamette phlox under Endangered Species Act. The flower depends on seasonal wetlands, a habitat that has dwindled to just 2% of its historic range. Advocates say that the flowers can only be found in a handful of locations right now. If listed, the flower would receive protections designed to preserve its habitat and help the species recover.
A new $50 million recycling facility is now open in North Portland. WM, the company formerly known as Waste Management, says this facility will process 38 tons of material an hour. The process includes AI technology where electronic sorters are connected to high-powered computers that look for items that are and are not recyclable.
Typically, our material capture goes up by well over 10%. And when we automate, we have much greater capacity for new customers to come in.
That was the Chief Sustainability Officer for WM there, saying that technology is only expected to keep improving, and that is expected to make recycling even more efficient.
Coming up at 8 o'clock, the latest that we're learning after a suspect is arrested for the shooting death of a Gresham 13-year-old. That teen's mother calling it a step towards justice, but police say the work is far from over. Plus.
I was very unhappy about it, very unhappy about every aspect, and we got to get the hostages back. But I was very unhappy about the way that went down.
Yeah, that's President Trump talking this morning about Israel's latest airstrike against Hamas inside Qatar, while world leaders scramble at this point to keep ceasefire talks between the two sides alive. We're going to break down all of this and what comes next when we roll into the 8 o'clock hour of sunrise. We'll wrap up this half hour with a live look from our waterfront. Of course, Rod Hill will also be on board in our next hour with the latest on our Wednesday forecast and a sneak peek of the weekend ahead. And Chris McGinnis will keep track of roadways throughout the hour. Again, stay with us. More sunrise in 3 minutes.